Hi guys!
Hello everybody!
This is Vinasa Podcast.
Because talking helps!
And we are back with another episode. This is your host Mari.
This is your host Laura.
Today we're going to be talking about a topic that we already talked about a couple episodes ago. I think it was our second episode. So if you haven't listened to that, please go check it out. We recommend you listen to that one. And then listen to this one. You will notice that the sound quality is way better on this one. We did this, guys.
Yes!
We did it.
I'm so proud of us.
Yes. And we also have video today. So if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're watching us on Spotify, hi.
Hello. This is our faces.
Yes. And this is Anito. I highly recommend to whoever doesn't have it.
It's amazing. It's really, really good.
It's really good.
And guess what? We are on air. Live on air.
Yes.
January is a month for self-care awareness.
Yeah.
And we wanted to bring that because it's very important to us for this podcast. And also like for our own lives. We are very big on like doing things for ourselves and taking care of our mental health. And how can you do that? It is self-care. It starts with self-care. So today we're going to talk about Blue Monday is actually January 15th is when this episode is going to be released. It's about supposed to be this one of the saddest days of the year already.
Yeah.
2025. And
which is so interesting. I had no idea before we actually started like
thinking about
searching about this topic. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense, right?
It does. And it's
Can
about
you explain.
Yes, let's go to the basis. So when we start thinking about self-awareness, self-care awareness month and what we're gonna bring to the episodes and what we're gonna talk about it. January 15th is supposed to be one of the saddest days. They call Blue Monday. Blue Monday.
But it's not a Monday this year.
It's gonna be a Tuesday.
It's a Wednesday, right?
It's a Tuesday. 15 is a Tuesday. So meaning like they say that it's one of the saddest days of the month or of the year.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I was wrong.
Well, Blue Wednesday.
Yeah, Blue Wednesday. But meaning that, why is that? After 2 weeks of beginning of the year, so it's going to be 2 weeks that the year started, and they made a research about it, and they say that after the holidays, after New Year's intentions, it's when like we're all excited, we spend sometimes more money than we have to with presents.
That's
and then like
true.
it come like after 2 weeks they start, you already like I have so many resolutions that I haven't done last year, so people start actually like being self-critic and just thinking about the negative things of the holiday that has passed, which is like the bills of the credit cards that you bought the presents with, the resolutions that you like, maybe I plan to lose, I don't know, some pounds at the end of the year and it didn't happen. And they're
or just in the sense that like, I feel like once it hits January 1st, everyone says like, I'll go back to work now. I'll go back to doing this. I'm going to start doing this. And then after 2 weeks of the month and you didn't do any of those things, I think it might be like when it hits, like everyone's like, oh shit, like I actually didn't do anything that I put myself to do,
That's true.
That's, you feel like, you don't feel good.
It's about yourself. Like when we're talking about on our episode about the resolution and the intentions for the year, the last episode that we recorded is about that, and it makes sense because we start with all this hope for this new year, and the second week is when actually you're coming back from vacation, and actually the second week of the month is actually the whole week, because the first is
true. It's filled with holidays.
Yeah, so you actually come back from your routine, you actually live your whole week, and then becomes like, okay, holy fuck, like I'm the second week, what am I doing with my life?
Right. It's also important to remember that we're talking about seasonal depression. So by the middle of January, it's been at least a month where, depending on where you live, it's our case, you're barely seeing the sun. Statistically, people get more melancholic and they feel a little sad because you don't have the sun and you don't have that vitamin D that you need. So obviously check our episode, we talk in depth about that, but in
her own personal experiences,
my own personal experience by a person that suffers with that. But I think it would be nice for us to also address like because we did a mini guide on the first episode, so like just to update each other and
do a follow-up
those things,
how is it
on how it was.
How I think we talked about how for me I do not have that seasonal depression, but for me I tend to overdo it. I tend to like I said,
you keep yourself extra
busy to not actually think about the fact that I had 2 weeks without seeing the sun, because also for me the sun is one of the most like giving me an energy, all that.
Yeah.
But let's just do a follow-up. Okay. We thought about to do also bring stories about what you guys shared with us.
Your experiences
with like seasonal depression, or like just being like, what do you do throughout winter time to self-care, right? Because it's about January self-care month awareness, and coming up with like seasonal depression as being the Blue Monday. I think it's important for us to address that.
Are you feeling like you were, because I remember in the first episode you said that you were gonna make sure that you hibernated more instead of keeping yourself busy like you do every year. So now that we are January 15th, how has your winter been, and how are you dealing with everything?
I think the strategy of actually hibernate and actually stay with myself, it's working, and I'm keeping myself, like, I'm holding myself accountable for that, because I know how important it will be, and hasn't been for me do that, but it's hard because I'm used to just go and do, and now I have to slow down. So like in a Saturday as example, I overbooked myself, right? I used to overbook and just do, and then like now I'm just enjoying my mornings without like, you know, not having to do this that I planned for myself. I just allow myself to have the time to just do it instead of to overbook. Yeah. But when I feel that I can see why now though, that when I'm staying home, I can see how I can become like, I'm not saying depressed, but I can become melancholic because, you know, I'm looking outside, there's no sun, it's just gray. Like snowing, it's gray.
Yeah. Because it's gray every day. Yes. Obviously, I don't blame you. I get it. That it is hard.
But then I realized what do I do to not fall into the place that, you know, I'm always active, now I'm not. I just keep myself busy and do things self-care for myself. And I realized, like, you know, coloring, looking outside and just actually romanticize that, you know, I have a place to be and I'm safe. I have like a comfort of my own like place. Yeah. And being, I guess, grateful for what I have. But I can see that there's one time that I'm like, I understand why a lot of people, they stay at home, they don't socialize, and they don't do that because it's winter and it's cold. But at the same time goes, like, it can be a little like depressing sometimes. Yeah. You know, just being by yourself and not seeing people and doing stuff. How about you? How's your strategies going?
My strategies, I have not used my light so far. I don't know why. Because I think it has a necessity, right? This is funny. Right now. This is funny. We were watching this show, and this girl was talking about how with chickens, they have to put UV lights, and they have been overdoing it because the chickens get depressed because it's cold, and they're like stuck in this huge, you know, place where they don't see the sunlight and stuff. So what farmers do is that they'll put the lights for the chickens because they're depressed. And after I heard that, I cannot, because I feel like I totally understand the chickens. I feel like a motherfucking chicken. This should be the emoji of today's episode.
Yes, chicken.
And I just haven't used it. I don't think that I have the need to use it, which is good. I do feel like I've been keeping myself busy.
Busier than
previous years. However, I am definitely feeling the lack of motivation. And I actually asked our followers on Instagram, so maybe you guys are listening and you remember answering this, but I asked, like, what motivates you in this weather? Because I am forcing myself, but I'm trying to like, you know, what's working right now is that I'm working out every day. I'm like, I got a walking pad, like, extremely big hack, you guys. For whoever it's like me, I don't go outside. Like, I don't like the snow. I don't like being in the cold. I don't enjoy it. So I'm not gonna go outside. But I want to keep myself active. And if I don't go to the gym because I don't have the motivation, at least I can do it at home.
At home, I like that.
So I've been doing that, making sure that I am at least moving my body. So far, I feel like I've been keeping myself busy and just making sure that I am moving my body. So, you know, even if there's not any dopamine going on and endorphins, at least I can get it in a different way, which is exercise. It's
again about the motivation, because if you don't see sun,
it's so hard.
It is very hard. It is very hard.
It's hard because I feel like once it's sunny, at least you know, this week actually I lived that because I think it was like most of the week was gray, and then there was one day that was sunny, and it was the coldest day of the whole week.
But it was amazing because I just stay in the sun, like,
yes,
I feel motivated.
I literally, like, every single day I've been training my dog to walk in the walking pad so I don't have to walk her outside, and then my boyfriend will walk her because usually she walks twice a day. But now, like, this day that was sunny, I instantly, like, I'm outside, I'm walking around, and I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, this is the coldest day of it all. Like, why are you not walking the other days?
It's because of the sun.
And it's because of the sun. Wow. It's just because I don't have the motivation to go outside, so I find a different way to do things. But still, like, I know that I should. But we
also lived that we went for a vacation in Charleston because one of our friends lived there.
Yeah.
And it's winter there. Of course, it's different than a winter here, but like there's sun all day long, and it's amazing. It's cold. You're by the beach. Of course, you're not going to the beach just to go to the ocean, but like just to hang out on the beach is so cool because the sun is there, and it's just different experience. It's just
different. Also, another hack that I feel like since I've moved to the Midwest, that it helps me. I always book a vacation during the winter. I don't know if you noticed that, but I've always done it because I know that I know myself. I need to get out and I need to be in the sun. So like even with, maybe that's why I'm not so sad right now, other than all the effort that I'm fucking putting every day. But like big part of it's also that like I could take a break for at least like a week, and then we saw the sun, and then you know.
I think starting the year like that helped a lot.
Yeah,
because now, of course, they say winter starts, of course, in December.
Yeah.
But like with everything going on with holidays, we keep ourselves busy. You know, buying presents, doing the dishes, and seeing people, and all the parties that we have to go. Yeah. And that's why I think January, when it hits, it's one of like
going back to regular life.
Exactly, and I think that's why the second week of January is gonna be one of the saddest one. But I think now I can see the perspective of how can you. Before, because I kept myself too busy, I can see now the perspective of like I can fall into no motivation and can fall to the place that, you know, I don't want to go outside, I don't want to see nobody because, you know, I'm so comfy here, I don't want to get out, but also unique to us.
Yeah.
As what?
Human beings.
We also like get some stories from people. We're going to share that today.
Yes. So we had 3 people sending us stuff, and I'll read them, and then,
They're about strategies.
No, they're about their experiences with SAD.
Oh, okay.
So let's see like how people feel, and then maybe we can talk
relate to it. Okay.
Also, as we said in the first episode, if you suffer from this condition and you're feeling extremely depressed now that it's cold and you know that the sun won't be here for a couple more months, at least a month, please reach for help, ask for help. Talk to somebody, do things that will help you. And also I started following this page on Instagram yesterday actually, and I was thinking about it, and she said something like, we only have 9 more Fridays until the sun starts setting at 7 p.m. And I kept thinking, because it's such a good way to see things, right? Like it's just like changing your perspective. Which at the same time, when I saw it, I was like, oh God, I still have like at least a month and a half.
But then you can do a countdown, right?
But at the same time, it's like, it's only 9 Fridays. Like, we can do this. When you're so busy, when you're keeping yourself like active and doing stuff, you don't even notice like Fridays going by.
That's true.
You know? So like, we got
this. It's a strategy. We got this. Together, we got this.
Yeah. Okay, so first person said, I have been caught crying at work. I snapped at my loved ones, become incredibly emotional when people tell me I'm knocked up when I'm not. Become increasingly insecure throughout the winter, and I'm continuously asking for reassurance. I want to stay in bed for days at a time, and you might find me studying a lot. I thought it was interesting when I read this because...
Can you like relate it? Like truly feeling of like... Because thinking about like staying in bed, I'm not like...
You can't do that.
I can't. Like I'm too... My anxiety works in a different way. Like if I'm staying too much in bed, that's why I took the strategy of like hibernating in a different perspective from seasonal depression. Can be the burnout, right? Like overdoing it. So I realized that for me, when I stay extra time in bed, I already like, I cannot do this. I need to get out. I need to just, and I tried to, and that's what I came up with, like the strategy of staying in bed and forcing myself to stay in bed more so I can actually enjoy the process. But for her, in her perspective, staying in bed too much is a sign that she's not like
she's
okay.
not okay. Yeah. No, I can't relate to that. But when I notice myself, when I catch myself doing that, people around me already know that it's a sign, and I force myself because I know it can get bad. So I guess like yes, but also I think I allow myself lately. I've been allowing myself one day. Like if you're feeling really bad today, do the max that you can today, and if you can't do a lot, this is the max that you're giving yourself.
That's the best that you can do that day.
And then the next day you have to overcompensate because you already had your day off. You know, like off.
mentally and
Maui, guys. That was my dog. So yeah, for this person specific, I am no one. No, I'm not a professional.
But
so
it's your own
I
experience.
obviously can't, tell you what to do exactly. But I would recommend looking for help. Maybe up your vitamin D dose.
That's something
just like do something for yourself, because it's not. This is miserable. Like it's not. I understand because I feel the same way. I felt the same way, I guess, and it's just.
It's no way to live like that, right?
Yeah, like you're kind of stuck in this place. If that's your reality, make the best out of it. I think that's Okay, second person said, during the winter, I basically spent every day sitting on my bed. I have a pretty damn nice bed and flat screen on the wall, so it was doable, and I just veg out. It made me feel horrible though. That's the kind of route that I take with seasonal depression. But this winter, I'm trying to look at the positives. The air is fresh, I can build fires, I'll be able to go snowboarding, skating, and stuff. I'm trying not to let the cold stop me from enjoying stuff, basically. Which
I like that.
I get it. Like, that's is exactly
how
I feel.
That's because, you can relate to that right now.
Yes, because it's hard, and I totally understand how it can be miserable, but if it's your reality, how can you make it best, right?
Yeah, it's about, like, again, when we talk about self-care month, what is small thing that you can do to self-care, right? To not get to this place, or fewer in that place. What is the small things that you can do? Like, I'm gonna go snowboarding today.
Yeah.
Like, when you do keep yourself busy, helps with, like, the hormones release of, like, dopamine and all that. So I think it's important to keep ourselves busy, but do not overdo it like me. I think it's just also finding balance.
Yeah, it's always balance.
Life is a balance, I guess.
Third person, once my environment turns colder and the sky gets darker, I begin to feel melancholic and irritable. I cannot say that word. Irritable. With no clear purpose or reason, I'm a miserable company. This does not mean I'm unfriendly, but certainly many or all of my charms that are otherwise present in the warmer months have vanished.
Wow.
I kind of get it. Right? I feel like everyone gets like that though, because and that I think that's okay too, because it's the time that we are supposed to slow down. We're supposed to stay
inner. It's inner, not outer, right?
Yeah.
Hibernation is for that.
Yeah.
When we talk about nature itself, like the trees are not dead, but they're hibernating. Yep. The animals are hibernating. So how can we as a human beings do that? It's a month for more like quiet. And just to go like, what can I do to decide about my life? Like, how can I change? And I think it's cool because the beginning of the year is when correlates to the intentions that we want to do. I think it's a time for us to reflect.
Yeah.
But at the same time it's very easy for us to fall to a place like that where we don't feel motivated, where we don't see like, what is the purpose of it? Like I was telling you this past week how I was just like, I was fighting off like, what am I doing with my life? Because again, I don't see the sun. I go back to reality of like coming back from vacation, sunny out there, living like without having responsibilities of like my normal life, which is school, work, blah blah.
Yeah,
when you go vacation. But when you go back to reality and there's no sun and all that, it's very easily to fall to a place where you can feel that you're losing yourself. Yeah. You don't understand what's happening with you. Yeah. When actuality can be that, but there's external things happening. No sun. Yeah. Winter, cold, and how can we change that? It's like we're saying with our strategies.
And I think it's being patient with yourself, to giving yourself grace in the sense that it's okay to have those days, because it does take time to go back to normal after just having fun and after the holidays, after the season time that we're all constantly with other people, constantly doing like at parties and all these social things. I think it's okay. Like we have to learn, like again, January is about self-care. we have to prioritize giving ourselves grace, because it's fine. It might take time for you to go back to that mentality of like, okay, we're back to normal life. It doesn't have to be miserable. Or if it is miserable, what can I do to change now, instead of just, oh my gosh, my life is horrible. I'm so sad. Like I think it's mindset really.
But again, there's, like we talked about, seasonal depression can be hard for you to, because there's two things. Like, when we're talking about this episode, we talk about seasonal depression, but also the blue Mondays or whatever that feeling is. It is related to seasonal depression, but it could be only because you're feeling like that because of all we just talked about, not because you're depressed, right? So it's important for us to realize what's the signs, so we can understand when to be worried, when to actually ask for help, when to talk to somebody. And I think it's important to distinguish between having the feeling of melancholic because of all that, and actually realizing that this is being too long. This is being like, I'm the end of January, I'm not feeling okay, or like I'm still the same state of mind. So I think it's important to realize either.
And again, for each of us, it's gonna be different ways. A lot of times you can do it yourself. Sometimes you can't do it yourself. And if you can't do it yourself, that's okay too. Just ask for help, and it's fine. Guys, it's just the winter. It's gonna end soon. Let's pray for that.
I think also, like, I don't know. I just, in my perspective now, like going towards the opposite, I see that, like, I'm more like doing things in, like, at my apartment, hanging out by myself, doing things for myself. And I think it's a great way that you can utilize the time for winter, for hibernation. Again, self-care. To do things
focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself. Do things that you always wanted to learn. I don't know.
That's true. We are so busy during the summer that we don't do that.
Exactly. We always like hanging out with people, like just, that class that you always wanted to take online to learn something, crochet, something. Do it.
It's so interesting because yesterday I was talking to my partner about this, and we were talking about how during the summer we don't notice how our environment is so messy. And we're like, I was telling him, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need to reorganize everything, and it's the beginning of the year, so we should, we're planning what we have to do, whatever. And we're both like, how does it get so messy, right? Like how does it get so messy so fast? How does it get to the point? And then we were talking about it. It was like, well, it's probably because we don't notice that it's getting messy because we're outside all the time. And then when you're actually not stuck, but you're spending more time in this closed environment, that's the time that you have to do those things that you don't do because you're outside,
Which is also important,
Which is
right?
good, yeah. I was gonna say,
because you're like doing, like, again, beginning of the year, it has something to do with like the inclination to, like, if you're in your environment, you want your environment to be like clean, you want your environment to be like the way,
organized,
just organized, because you're gonna be there, right? You're gonna spend most of the time there. So that's something that I realized too in the beginning of the year when I came back from the trip, was like, I need to reorganize the space because I know I'm gonna be spending more time here, and I want it to be something enjoyable.
And again, doing that, it's taking care of yourself.
Yes,
I think that's important to address. Like, by doing things like that, you are making sure that you are
self-caring.
Self-caring. You're making sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're putting yourself as a priority, because again, you already gave so much of your energy during the holidays, during vacation or whatever. Now it's time for you to focus on yourself and to go inwards so you can recharge and be the best version of yourself once the busy times comes again.
Yes.
And that's the good part about life too.
I agree.
It will always come. It's just a season.
It's a process,
and it's a process of life, and it will pass.
So, like, I always think about every time we go to our yoga class, there's one of the teachers that she brings reflections of like seasons and how can we relate to like nature, because we're all part of the same universe. So season of like, each season means something, right? So the winter season is for the lungs, meaning that when you breathe, like we're breathing cold air, you're like actually recharging and like cleaning your lungs. So actually like your energy and like your chakras, which I do believe that, and I think that's something that goes with my philosophy of life, meaning that it takes time to like clean, and it takes time to like look inside, and if you do not have winter times, you're not able to do that. So I think
Yeah.
we have to
That's true.
take the most of what we have, and with the reality that we have,
Yeah.
it's taking agency of your life.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's important for us to do during this month. And self-caring is that, it's taking agency of your life and doing for yourself.
Yeah, I love that reflection. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening
Tuning
to
in.
us to another episode. We're gonna have a challenge. If you want to be part of it, we'll be very happy. So
we are doing that. We started for ourselves. So if you guys, again, we're bringing this to a Penis Hub. So
yeah,
if you want to be part, you're more than welcome. But again, when we talk about things here in the podcast, it's relatable stories from our lives.
Yeah,
for you guys.
Yeah, we can only talk about our reality.
Yes.
But basically, we're gonna be doing little vlogs of things that we are doing on our day that can improve that day, you know, like
our self-care.
It may be something really small, like cooking something nice for that day, but if I'm having a shitty day, that's the best part of my day, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
So make sure that you follow us on Instagram.
If you like this episode,
Spotify. If you like this episode, make sure that you are sharing it with people that you love. Make sure that you leave a review. Those things are so important for us
and for this project.
And for this project. So thank you so much for another day. We hope you guys take care of yourselves.
Yeah, self-care month. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, even for the smallest things that you can do. Just do it. It's for yourself.
Yes. So bye.
Bye.
Oh shit.